Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. And welcome to another Bridge the Gap series episode. My name is Manisha from Global Bridge, and today I am joined by Harrison from HSBC to give us a lowdown on banking. So, yeah, very exciting. I hope you all are eager to hear what Harrison has to offer today. So, yeah, I'll hand over to you, Harrison. Thank you.
I like to say I've got the best job in the bank. It's a little bit biased, but yeah, I get to visit schools and youth groups all over the country to help young people with their financial education. So what we've got today is a few slides on some of the key skills that you're going to need as you start to move towards those next financial milestones, whatever it is you're thinking you're doing after school, after college. Okay, having a real good budget is a key to success. So before we get started, okay, just let me know what you think is the difference between an essential outgoing and a non-essential outgoing. What's the difference? So when we're building our budget, we need to know about different categories within that. So that's where we need our essentials, our non-essentials, but most importantly, our income. We don't know what we've got to spend, then actually our budget's not going to be very strong. Depending on what you're doing next, it might be that full-time employment, it might be that student maintenance loan, you might be part-time employed, balancing studies, you might be starting an apprenticeship, you may even be getting a little bonus every now and then, depending on the career you go into in the future. Or it might be that you're still getting some support from home as well. And that's absolutely an important part of your budget to consider. Once we know what's coming in, we can then work out our priorities. So what do you think about this list of essentials? Is there anything there that surprises you? Is there anything that actually you think should be included as an essential? So when it comes down to it, our essentials are the things we need to survive. Okay, so that's why it is such a almost a restricted list. These are the things that we need to survive. Okay, and we've probably got all of these same needs in common. Okay, we need somewhere safe to live, we need to be able to eat, keep ourselves warm, and then travel to school, college, work, etc. But it's our non-essentials that will be very different depending on our own interests and hobbies and passions. And as we're finding at the moment with the cost of living crisis, this is maybe the area where we're having to make some cutbacks, having to make those difficult decisions. Because we can't cut back on the things we need, we have to maybe do with cutting or reviewing those non-essentials. So just looking at the list we've provided here, what would you find the hardest to give up? For me, it would be the holidays. Definitely need that holiday to look forward to. As I've gotten older, that going out just isn't as important to me anymore. But as we go through different life stages, we're going to have different priorities of where we spend our money. Once we've gathered all of this data on our income and our outgoings, we can start to create our budget. Now, there's no one best way to budget. It will all come down to your own personal preferences and how you like to manage your money. Me personally, I very much like good old-fashioned pen and paper because it feels more real. If I'm writing something down, then I've kind of got to be accountable for it if it's been a good month or a bad month. That's just my personal preference. Maybe you prefer the spreadsheets. Okay, there's lots of great templates available online, and then you can use those spreadsheet formulas to maybe work out what would it be like spending that money in a year's time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. And real life story now, when I first started work, I was very quickly wondering where all my money was going. So I looked back at those bank statements and looked at those lunchtime meal deals from the supermarkets, £3.50 a day. Okay, fair enough. But then if that's 5 days a week, and if that is 12 months of the year, I soon worked out I would have been spending over £950 on those meal deals. So that was the shock I needed to make a big change in my finances and go back to my old habits, which were to make things at home. So there might be a few eye-opening moments as you go through your bank statements. You can then set your different categories of how you want to spend. So your apps are important as well. You may have financial budgeting apps built into your own bank account apps, or you might choose to register for an independent app that will just speak to your bank card and give you that information. Just check that you're happy with how they're going to look after your data, and it might be something that's reviewed automatically after every 90 days. Once you've established your different spending areas, make sure that they're realistic. Also make sure you include your savings as well. Because actually, lots of people say, and I've heard it so many times, I'll just save what I have left at the end of the month. But actually, we never get there because we end up spending it before because we can see it is available. So if we plan to save at the beginning of the month, then we should know exactly what we've got left. So let's show you a little example, and we're going to do a few scenarios about how maybe you would manage this budget. So let's zoom in to do a little tour. So this is a budget for somebody who is studying. So they've got their maintenance loan, and what they've done, because it's paid termly, they've divided it by 3 to give themselves a bit of a monthly income. They're fortunate that they're getting a bit of support from home as well, and they are also working at a part-time job. So I think they're very busy. They've got their list of essentials. These are the things that they know they have to have, okay? Where their accommodation, their food, their insurances, okay, bills, clothes, etc. We've then got a little section for our debts because it is a good place to keep a track on those, okay? If it is building up or not going down as fast as you want, it might be something you want to revisit. And then they've picked what their non-essentials are. So what am I going to spend on everything that's left over? So gym memberships, takeaways, going out, maybe a nice little trip somewhere exotic. Okay, but that's what they've chosen to spend their money on because that's what's important to them. And then overall, we've got £42 left over per month for surplus for emergencies. With your financial budget complete, you've then got a good overview of everything that's happening in your month. And then if a curveball comes your way, you can then make the right decisions. So let's give that a go. Your sibling has just got engaged and is having a party back home. You've only got £44 left in your going out fund. However, a train ticket is going to cost you £20, a gift is going to cost you £20, and you've also got your eye on a new outfit, which is going to cost you £50. So what would you do? Would you book the train ticket, but not buy the outfit or gift? Would you book the ticket and the present, but no outfit? Or would you buy everything, but use that credit card and try and pay it back next month? Let me know what you think. Brilliant. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So your basketball team or whatever sport you like to follow, okay, that you play in has made the finals. You need to spend £66 to cover the cost of travel and staying over. You've only got £40 left in your account with 2 weeks left until payday. So what are you going to do this time? Say no thanks. We'd rather spend the money on going out. Maybe increase the money in your budget by taking some money out of your savings. Take some money out of the takeaway fund. You'll just have to have no takeaways for the next 2 weeks. Or do we try increase our income by ringing home to ask for some early birthday money? What do you think you would do? So this is an interesting one. So we could cut back, or we could maybe try and increase the income at the top of our budget so we can do the things that we really want to do. Okay, might not always be able to achieve that. Okay, but actually it is definitely something worth considering. Once our budget is in place, we can start to think about our emergency savings. Because those two scenarios, okay, none of those were emergencies. They were things that were everyday occurrences that we could manage, that we could rearrange our budget to sort out. But actually, an emergency is going to have a much bigger impact on our finances. So something like car repair or replacement, nearly 30% of people had an experience of this in the last 12 months. The mean average cost of £1,341. I don't know many people who've got that free in their budgets to be able to deal with that if that was to happen. Or if you're a glasses wearer like me, that's £195 average cost. My glasses broke in lockdown, and that was very difficult to try and get someone to see me so that I could actually go to work. If I can't work, can't see I can't work. If I can't work, I can't earn money. So sometimes those emergencies can have a real impact. We're also a nation of animal lovers. Okay, thinking about vets bills. If we don't have insurance, how are we going to manage that payment? This is why emergency funds are so important. We should aim to have 3 to 6 months worth of our bills in that emergency fund so that if something isn't quite right within our finances, we've got that to cushion us. So it might be that we suddenly lose our job, or we're too ill to go to work, or there's been one of those unexpected expenses. We've got that support and basically the ability to keep meeting our budget. Because if that doesn't work, then we're going to get into financial difficulty. Make a clear plan of when you're going to let yourself use that emergency fund. Okay, not for the newest game or gadget. Okay, it should be for those serious emergencies. And then if you do need to use it, how are you going to keep it topped up?